Make the no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your bro. Games can play, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a lie.
Hey, I'm telling you the truth. Hey, it's all in what you do. Hey, some things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey. Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free hit the subscribe button. We gonna have a hot show tomorrow night. We got the Super Bowl after party, and we got the response to Deontay Wilder and Mark Breland interviews in the shop tomorrow night. I can't wait to hear y'all responses to this. Woo! I can't wait to hear y'all response. This is gonna be good, man. But y'all been asking me about my response to the Spencer Farron interview with Tunde is his name. It was terrible. Interview was terrible. I tried, man. I was looking forward to that interview, man. I had just found out maybe 90 minutes prior or something like that. Someone sent it to my DM, like Mark Breland's coming out. Okay, good. I was looking forward to it, but I'm gonna say this: Spencer Farron and Tunde, that interview was too big for y'all. It's too big. I don't give a fuck how much you know a guy. I don't give a fuck how much you respect a man. If you are afraid to ask the questions that the world is waiting for, you need to hand that interview over to me. Now, I'm joking. I'm joking, but y'all know you can't leave the barbershop without asking the questions that the world is thinking. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? That's why many people are afraid to come, and that's why people go over to Spencer Farron and Tunde, because they feel comfortable. They feel safe. They're not going to be pressed. And I mean, it was just the worst shit ever. I was sitting there waiting. Like it took two. First, I'm going to tell you what else was ridiculous. It took, first of all, he's an MTK global employee. You shouldn't be talking about Mark Breland this week. You should be talking about the mob guy that funds MTK, the MTK Global Foundation, which you're a part of. That's the most important thing. How are you attached to that man? How well do you know him? How well do you know Tyson Fury? It's like everything that's around Tyson Fury is incriminating. I didn't subscribe to their channel. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't subscribe. This first time I've seen it because the interview was terrible. I didn't subscribe to it because it was just a piss poor interview. And it's not I was thoroughly looking forward to it. So anyhow, I thought that it was just entirely too long. It was too much filibustering going on. You spent too long on his career. We know about his career already. Everyone in the UK know he's an Olympian, and that's part of the introduction. He's an Olympian. He's a two-time world champion. The hits go on and on and on. The greatest Olympic team ever, the greatest amateur in American history. We all know this. Maybe, I know you always want to introduce him at that, but that takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then you tell the man, oh, cut it. That's exactly when I left. When Spencer Farron said, oh, enough of this, man. We're not going to ask those questions. I said, you're not? Well, I'm leaving. You never, ever put a ceiling on the interviewee. You give them the option. You don't cut the faucet off. You let them cut the faucet off. And I was just perturbed by it, man. Because the world was watching. It was like when we had Mauricio Sulaiman. I know the world is watching. When we had why am I drawing a blank on the trainer's name right now? You know what I mean? Starts with an S. Out of Detroit. Tyson Fury's trainer. Sugar Hill. I know the world is watching. I got to ask the questions. If you're excited about having this major interview, you got to ask R. Kelly, how old are the women? Did you know? You got to ask the question. If not, don't do the interview. I mean, y'all lost me. I mean, it's too much jokey going on. And it was too much mental masturbation. Like Tunde says I know more than you, then Spencer Farron says I know more than you, and then you attach that to the question, and now you got a 3-minute question. It was just too much, dog. It was just a terrible interview, man. It was just a terrible interview. Here's a to the wise. If you wow. If you here's the catch. If you ask the question in a narrative form, you're going to get a narrative answer. Too much wiggle room. If you ask the question without a narrative, you'll get your answer. You don't ask what's up with the water. No, did you spike the water? Did you carry the water in the ring? Who bought the water? Deontay Wilder's never learned anything. How long? And you've been training with him since he started. How come he hasn't learned anything? Do you feel you haven't done your job as a trainer if Deontay Wilder hasn't learned anything? Like these are just A, B, C, D questions, that I didn't get that far in the interview, but just based off what I heard on a Trill Boxing Talk about 2 hours ago, but at the end of the day, man, y'all go watch the interview. It is on About Weight. I forgot, but I'm pretty sure. Just type in Mark Breland. Mark Breland with Spencer Farron. I'm sure it'll pop up. And but it was just a terrible interview. The interview was too big. The interview was too big for those young guys. I think they're young in terms of being journalism without having a producer. Maybe I think Spencer Farron works for Sky. He probably does a great job on Sky because he has a producer in his ear, maybe. But when you got to produce your own content and ask questions and no one's prepared, let me show y'all something. Look at this. Can y'all see this? Oh, that's my kid when Kennedy comes in. But look, notes. Y'all got to see the notes that my preparation for all my guests that comes in. Notes. It don't stop. Notes. It just don't stop. The hits just keep coming. I think they got to reformat it. They both can't play the same role. I mean, they both can't, and I think that's the problem. Shout out to my boy DB. I think we do a fantastic job together. You know what I mean? But it was just terrible. It was a terrible interview. Man, you know how important this interview could have been in terms of historical perspective? I hope Mark Breland does another interview. I hope. And I don't know Spencer Farron. I think I know I spoke with him one time on the phone because we had a disagreement. And this is not no indictment on him. I've never met Tunde, but this goes to show you about Tunde. He was a below average trainer. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. A below average trainer, lack of preparation. We don't do sparring. It's lions in the camp. Anthony Yard didn't really get beyond prospect. He couldn't really get better. So Tunde, you know what I mean? And that's just the reality of it. And I'm not saying I'm the best journalist in the world, but I'm the best at what I do. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm the best at what I do because the return is great. You know what I'm saying? I'm the best long form interviewer in boxing. And the most beautiful thing about it is I'm beyond boxing at this point. My grass is beyond boxing. I want to be the go-to guy in the world at some point. And we're going to get to that. You understand the fact that I don't have to leave my house and get a greater return on not just boxing, but the return on intellectual capital worldwide is just astounding to me. That's what I've learned. You know what I mean? Instead of reaching out, searching and looking like, man, I need this, I need that. It could just simply be in your house. You know what I mean? You invest however much money you want to invest and you make it pop. That's the truth of the matter. So at the end of the day, you gotta, man, Man, y'all gotta have a double back or something, dog. If Mark Breland probably will do another interview this week because everyone's gonna start calling him now for interviews and stuff. Hopefully, he gets an interview with somebody else, and we'll move forward from there. So, anyways, man, that's my response. I got through. I literally cut it off when Spencer Farron said, "Oh, enough of that. We don't have to dwell on that." That's all we want to hear. Like we ain't here for nothing else. I want to hear about those 10 years you spent with Deontay Wilder. I mean, I don't care about you. Well, because I know his amateur career, so that's a part of my life. I was born in New York. So, but anyways, man, that's where I'm at. But Google Spencer Farron and Mark Breland, and the interviews will come up. The questions are more here's the sad when the questions are longer than Mark Breland's answers. It's annoying. So, anyways, man, I thought it was a piss poor piece of journalism, and that's it. So, anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.